Morena. Kia ora koutou. My name's Jeff from Repair Detectives, and welcome to the Grand Unmaking Part 4, or number 4. Tahira tore whā. So today, I thought I would take apart this cool thing, which I'm sure some of you might recognize. This is a remote control for a TV. So I thought we'd take it apart and have a look inside. What's really cool about this is that A, it's got heaps of buttons, which is really fun and exciting, and B, the camera can actually, when I press these buttons, I can't see anything when I look at this little point out here, but watch what happens when I press the button and point it at the camera. Can you see that? Actually, it's a little hard to see on this one. Oh, it's not showing it. Let's try another camera. Let's try this one. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I can see that. See that little light? It's an infrared light. And it means that our eyes can't see that, but the cameras can. And this is how your remote control sends little messages to the TV or to whatever it might be. It might be you might have a remote control for something else, like a heat pump or an air conditioner. So what I'm going to need today, and what you might need, hopefully you've got something like a toy or little electronic thing to take apart, anything with screws really. What you will need is a screwdriver of sorts, and I guess you also need to check that whatever you've got is not something that plugs into the wall, because the power that comes, the electricity that comes from the wall is quite dangerous. So we don't want to be touching anything, not that it's plugged into the wall, but we don't want to take something apart and put it back together incorrectly, in which case it might cause a problem. Now, this remote control runs on batteries, so this should be fine. I'm going to take the batteries out, and I'm just going to do a quick check that I've got everything that I need. So I've got a variety of screwdrivers here. A little one, I think I might need this a bit more today, and I've got a bunch of other ones here just in case. I've also got, and you might like to go and get this, just a lid for keeping screws in. You can see a few screws from last week left in there. Now, the other thing that we need to check is check with a grown-up and the owner of whatever device or whatever thing you're taking apart. Check that you've got permission to actually take it apart and put it back together. Okay, right, so let's get going with this remote control. First, I'll take out the batteries, which are on the back. Now, you'll be able to see that on here there's a little kind of plastic clip. Now, it's really common, because this is obviously made out of plastic, it's really common to have little mechanisms that help to hold things in place. And with this one, it's got a little thing on the back that I can push. I can even push it with a screwdriver. You can see it just pushes in a little bit. It gives enough spring that if I push it in with my fingernail and lift it up, it will come out. And you can see there that it's got this little kind of, it's just slightly springy. Let me see if I can get a better, closer look at this. Yeah. There we go. Is that better? Not quite. Yeah, so it pushes in and out. Now here's the batteries. You can see 2 AA's. I'm just going to hit them. You can also get a screwdriver and just kind of try and get underneath to lever this out. This one doesn't want to come out. I actually find my fingernails are the best for hooking in under these. Now, the other thing that you can do as you're taking apart is, the other things to think about are, what do you think is inside here? Like, what do you think is actually going to be inside? And what is your thing made out of? Mine's made out of plastic, mostly. I can see a few bits of metal here. There's the metal spring. And I think these buttons are probably, they feel kind of soft, so I think they've got some rubber in them, as well as maybe a bit of plastic. So mostly plastic, I would say. But what do you think's inside? I think because it's sending messages to the TV and it's got buttons, I think there's usually going to be a computer inside this that takes that button press and turns it into a message that the TV can understand. So that's what I think about mine. What do you think about yours? All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I can see that there are some screws here. So I need to find a screwdriver that's going to fit. And it's a certain type of screw. Let me see if I can get up really close here so we can have a good look at these screws. Here we go. Can you see the cross that's on those screws? So we need a screwdriver that has got the same sort of cross on its head. Here's an example screwdriver. If I turn it around, you might be able to see that it's got a kind of a cross on it. It's a bit tricky to see on here. You can see there's kind of a cross on there too. Now this one, if I hold it here, you'll see it's actually a bit big. It might not actually get in there. So I'm going to need a smaller one. This one looks about the right size. So let's stick it in and see if it fits. So when I try to wiggle it, it doesn't have a lot of wiggle movement. It's not moving around inside. So that's a good fit. So the next thing I need to do is take this screw out. But which way do I turn it? Well, there's a really easy way to remember. And some of you might know this. We say lefty-loosey, lefty-loosey, so around to the left to loosen the screw, or righty-tighty. Now I think tomorrow I'm going to show you how to make one of these, so we can do that together, so you've got it available for you for next time you want to take something apart. So right now I need to use lefty-loosey and go around to the left. So I'm going to put that over my hole here, get my screwdriver, put it in so that it is right in the middle and it's fitting. And then I'll turn it around to the left. I'll take this off because it's taking away from what we can see. Okay, so I'm going to turn around here. Turning around to the left. And you can see that it is coming out. And I can hear it now. So I'm going to take this and put it in my jar lid. All right, that's one down. Here's the other one. So again, put it in, and I'm going to go around to the left. Lefty loosey. Here it comes. Voila. Bring that out. Look at that. Amazing how it's just clinging on there. Okay. All right, so that's it so far. Now, I can't see any more screws. There's something in here. Well, it looks like there might be something, but I can't tell. If I feel it with my screwdriver, it doesn't look like there's anything in there. Maybe I'll have a good dig. So I'll lean over. Now, sometimes when you're taking things apart, you might have to, and unscrewing things, you might have to push down at the same time that you're turning. No, I don't think there's anything in behind there. Could be wrong. I need a magnifying glass, I think. Maybe I can use this camera. Let's have a look. Is the camera going to help me? No, not really. All right, so doesn't seem like there's any other way to get in, but what I can see is that there's a bit of a gap down here where it looks like they've put two of the parts together. Let me show you on here. So see that gap, that line that's running along there? That tells me that there are two parts to this, two big plastic parts. And I think I can probably get in and prise those two parts apart. Now, I might need a smaller screwdriver. This is a flat head screwdriver, by the way, and you can see it's really thin at its tip. Let's see if I can get that in there. No, it's not really going to go. What about my fingernails? Fingernails are really good at this sort of thing. Can I get my fingernail under there? Maybe. I think I need to get a smaller screwdriver. So I'm going to use this little screwdriver toolkit and maybe use this one here. This is a flat head as well. So I'll just take the screwdriver head out and take this one off and put this one back in and tighten that up. Now let's see if that's thin enough to get inside. Well, it's definitely getting into the gap. I can definitely get in there. But the question is now, where's the best spot to get in? It's not coming apart easily. And it's designed that way. We don't want things kind of falling apart. So usually there are little clips inside that help the two big plastic bits stay together. That's really not wanting to come apart at the moment. So I have one more tool, which I just got recently actually. It's a little metal kind of slicey thing. And I'm just going to run it down along the length of this. Now I can feel just in here, when I went there, that it kind of went in a little bit, and there's another bit there where it goes in. So that kind of tells me those are good places, just there and just in there, good places to try and get something in. Oh, yeah, look at that. So I'm just putting my screwdriver in and trying to prise it open a little bit. And it's starting to come. You can hear things kind of popping out. And look, you might be able to see that I'm actually getting in there. So it looks like I can go a bit further with this. Now, quite often you'll hear those popping things, and it may only take, there's lots of dirt in here. Yuck. Just give that a blow. Sometimes it might take a couple of goes to get, or you might have to loosen it at one part and then loosen it at another until it actually comes apart more easily. So now you can see that there are little holes. Hopefully you can see there are holes on the inside that we can take this out with. So I'm going to go right down and see if I can prise this right out. Getting close. I can feel it. Oh, we've got this end that's coming out. There's another good spot. Let's see if we can get this corner. Oh, this is a tough bit. Let's try going the other way. I'll go under here. There we go. Little crack as it comes apart. Now, it's actually not breaking on the inside, but it's coming away from the little clasp that will be holding it inside. There we go. Oh, we are so close to just taking this right off. We just need this front bit to come out. Now, maybe I can go right around. Oh, there we go. Look, here it comes. Almost there. Ooh, look. There's something inside. Okay, we are so close here. I just need this last bit. Look, we've got it right apart. It's just this end bit. So I wonder if I can push or wiggle. There we go. Look at that. Done. Let's get the other camera. So that's what it looks like on the inside. You can see this part is just completely black plastic. And there's little clips on the inside as well. You might be able to see just here, these little bits that jut out and hook in to different parts in here. You see there's bits of dirt and gunk from being in people's hands. All right, so that's one bit down. What else have we got here? So I can see we've got two terminals for the battery. This is the negative and the positive terminal. We've got a little capacitor here and another one, ceramic capacitor here. And the little, it's either ultraviolet or infrared. I'm going to say infrared, LED, light emitting diode. You can see there's some writing here, R6L. So I wonder if I can just pull this off with my fingers. Look at that. And voila. Wow. That's pretty amazing. Let's have a look at this now. So we've got three main parts now. Remember, that was there. Actually, that should be that way. Yeah. So now we've got three main parts. And underneath here will just be all the buttons. And I can just lift these buttons out. It's a little bit hard to see, but they are made of rubber and they're all connected here. I could take this whole thing out. Look at that. There's another little plastic button here, but the rest of it is all rubber. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's all really flexible. Let's have a look at it close up. Ooh, it's like a snake. Do, 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 do. And what happens when we press a button is that, watch this, let me get a good angle. It just kind of pushes up this thing here. It's like a poppet. Just pushes that black bit up. What that black bit does is it pushes against these parts. Now, it's a little bit hard to see, but these parts are not actually touching. So this side here, these black bits here are not touching the bits on that side. They're kind of doing this. They're kind of going against each other. So, yeah, that way, like that. So they're not actually touching. What this does is when we push that up, that black bit makes a bridge across those black bits. And the electricity is just waiting to get across that bridge. So when we push it up, the electricity runs across and says, hey, to the computer, which is way down here. Look, there's the little microchip. That's the brains. And it says to the microchip, hey, somebody just pressed that button. Maybe it was number 1, or it pressed an up button, or a volume button. It's pretty simple. This is pretty simple. Look, there's just that chip, few little what we call resistors here, and that's it. And look at all these spaces for these buttons to go on and connect. It's amazing. Very simple design. So the great thing about this design is that we can put it all back together really easily. When people make things, it's really important that they make them simply so that people like you and me can take them apart and put them back together again and replace them if they need to. Replace little bits and pieces. It's quite an art to doing that and designing things in a way that they can go back together easily, and they just make sense. I could just make sense that that goes in there. So I'm just putting all these buttons back, because now I'm going to put things back together. You might still be taking things apart, and that's okay. You just keep doing that while I'm putting this back together. I want to get done in the next 5 minutes. I think I'm almost there. These buttons really don't want to go back in. I might need to get my little screwdriver. It's a little bit tricky. We go in there, go on. Sometimes it's a little bit fiddly to get these things in. We require a little bit of coercion just to get them going back into the right place, but I think I've got that now. Right, so what's next? This bit needs to go on top, and I can see that the light would go here. And I do remember that when I took this off, it was just sitting on there like that. And look, there's 2 things here and 2 holes for them to go into. So nice and easy. And then finally, this goes on here. I can see that it goes this way and not that way, because there's a hole in there for the light to go through. So I just have to make sure that I get these bits in the right place. That they slip in to where they are supposed to go, so that the batteries can go in correctly. And then I should be able to just push it all together, and you can hear those clips snapping back into place. Snap, 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 snap. So that's all good. Now all I need to do is put my screws back in and the batteries back in, and then hopefully it's all working. So I'll get my screwdriver. I'm going to change, actually I'll use this one, won't I? Yep, okay, so I'll use this one. Got my screws in my lid here, so I'll grab this one. Oops, I've picked up a stray. So what I'm actually going to do is put the screw onto the head and just make sure it fits in nicely. Then I can just go ahead and stick this in, and this time I'm going to go around to the right. So righty-tighty. Remember, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So I'm going to go around to the right, or clockwise. So let me get this in here. That's one done. One last screw. There we go. Put that on the end. And go around to the right. And that's it, all done. So now I should be able to put my batteries back in, making sure I'm putting them in the way that it's shown on the diagram inside. And I'll put the lid back on, and this little plastic bit that was wiggling before will now just snap in like that. So the moment of truth, does it work? I'll press the button. Hey, it's still working. Yay! You can see the light there. So, yay, we fixed it. And we got to see what was inside. I always find it really interesting to see how different things are made and what's inside and what they're mostly made of. And amazing to see that this has generally about 3 or 4 parts, big parts, that just slot together really nicely. Only 2 screws needed, so really easy to repair if we needed to. So I'll let you go. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have fun taking apart whatever you're going to take apart. We're going to do this again tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to take apart, but I will find something. And I think I might teach you how to make one of these as well. So, ka kite anō. We'll see you real soon.